All right, welcome back to Inside the Wave. This is Isaac Popper here with Gerrod Henderson, also known as G, also known as the American Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Gerrod, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Blessed day to be here.
Awesome. How was practice today?
Great practice. Just really focusing on more or less the pass. What we're going to have to focus on the second and third downs.
Awesome. What do we got here? Some snowballs?
What we call a victory snowball. Every time that we win, on the day Wednesday, we get some victory snowballs.
You heard that. Not just snowballs, but victory snowballs. What flavor do you have?
We got kind of I don't know if y'all can see a little bit of a pina colada mix with a little strawberry and a little green apple.
Awesome. I've got some ice cream with some condensed milk on top as well. Gerrod, what happened to your first snowball? Because you came in to an interview with me without a snowball. I said, wait, where's the snowball?
So every Wednesday or every week, the tradition that started probably my freshman or sophomore year, our Green Wave staff that hosts our food and everything that goes with our nutrition, they work long hours. So every week I try to make sure I go give them a snowball. Just take 2 or 3 up in there just to make sure everybody can get a snowball.
It's very nice of you. After practice, you were running sprints with Anthony Miller. Is that a regular occurrence?
We try to do it every other couple of days. Whenever practice isn't too hard, even when practice is too hard, just to keep us active and just a little bit extra conditioning, just so we stay acclimated, especially if it's a team with tempo. I really like to do a couple extra. We only go out there 5 at the most, maybe 15.
How did that come to be? Was that something the coach suggested, or you guys just started doing it?
We honestly just kind of started doing it. It was just something that we thought, why not? So invest our time, we invest our bodies, we invest everything else into it. Why not? Why can't we invest an extra 5 minutes into sprint?
It's a great attitude. So where did the nickname G come from?
So it's a long story. So my dad played at Louisiana Tech. He was a basketball player, and then he played professionally. His name is Gerrod Henderson Sr. I'm junior, so Gerrod Henderson Jr. So it's like Baby G, but I got rid of the baby. Just started going by G. Because I don't think I look like a baby no more. I don't know if anybody else thinks so, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. You're a redshirt sophomore and had a career-high 20 snaps this week. I think that's a sign of what's more to come. Gerrod, what's your major and where's your hometown? Let's let listeners know who you are.
So my major is health and wellness. That's a kinesiology pathway. And generally, I chose my pathway because I wanted to keep me close to things I love, sports, people, just overall being around this atmosphere, just something that really just majorly is a component, seeing people get built up and do their best. My hometown is a little bit of a toss-up. So I was born originally in North Louisiana. Ruston, Louisiana. If any college fans know where Louisiana Tech is, but I'm originally raised in Houston.
Nice. You're wearing shorts from the Tulane Athletics trip to Spain. I actually studied abroad in Madrid 2 years ago, and our co-host, Sean, is currently studying abroad in Madrid. How was that trip for you?
Man, first I got to thank the Tulane family. I'm pretty sure it was the Glazers that allowed us to go on this trip. Man, life-changing. Being born where I was from and migrating to Houston kind of just changed my way of life and my perspective. And being able to go on a trip, all expense paid, while also being able to get per diem. Not many people from where I'm from can experience anything like that. So it was just life-changing. We went to Madrid, Valencia, and Barcelona, which are some of the most beautiful cities I think I've ever been in.
Same for me. What was your favorite spots?
I don't want to sound biased, but Madrid or Barcelona definitely up there. Probably gonna have to go Madrid though.
Awesome. Anything specific in Madrid that you remember going to that you really liked?
I don't know if it's necessarily
or just walking around the city having a good time.
Okay, there we go. Now that's a great question. It was great just to walk around the city. It was a group of athletes. I want to say 70 of us. One night, a group of 30 to 40 of us just were riding around looking for scooters, and we rode around as an American mob around Spain. It was beautiful. It was hilarious. It was funny. Memories I can't get back would never change.
Awesome. A big wave coming through to eat some tapas.
Tapas.
Let's switch over to your huge performance could not be overstated against South Florida on Saturday. Tulane was only favored by less than a touchdown going into this game if you follow the gambling odds. And by the analytics, it was supposed to be a pretty close game as well. So having a statement victory, winning 45-10 over South Florida, the same margin of victory that my top 10 Miami beat them by just the previous week, and by more points and more yards than number one now, Alabama beat them by earlier in the season. Can you walk us through your strip sack? Because I think that was the biggest play of this game.
Okay. So strip sack. So early on, we're around the 25 to 30-yard line. I can see that they're possibly going into a pass look just because of the distance and the scoreboard currently. I'm pretty sure it was 7 to – oh, actually, I think this was before they scored. I was pretty sure it's 24-0. So they're pretty desperate. The running game hasn't been established. Anything else that they've tried really hasn't just worked for them. So I come off the ball, off the edge, nice little chop reduce, staying tight, making sure that I'm at 6 or 7 yards. Because Byron Brown, the quarterback of University of Southern Florida, he doesn't really drop particularly far. Most quarterbacks drop around 9 yards. He dropped 6 or 7 usually every play. So I knew that I had to do that. So I stayed tight, came around the corner, seen he was going to launch the ball, punched the ball right through. I see the ball just start rolling. I see 70. I'm thinking he's gonna go ahead and get back on, and we got to go get another play in. All I do is see Parker, big 98, just jump and die right on the ball. Celebration. Go Wave.
Roll Wave. Already 24-0, but still a critical play and really sealed the deal in the first half. One of the best first halves analytically that we've seen all season from any team, even before you consider the strength of the opponent. How much film did you watch on that backup quarterback? I know that Bynum Brown was the starter, but then he gets hurt in part thanks to your play, and then you're looking at the backup quarterback. You had 2 sacks. So the backup quarterback, how much film are you guys watching week to week on that?
So I can't necessarily say we just really focus on the backup quarterback because we focus on the guy that's really causing the problems. Their run game was really their pass game really wasn't causing too many problems. It was the quarterback's run and how diverse he is with the feet. So once we kind of realized that who Byron was, we focused on him primarily. But you can never forget the backup quarterback. We did a little research. If you go back and look at Miami game, he came in, I want to say third quarter after he got a little bit banged up. And we just saw he was more of a poised pocket passer. Still about 6 or 7 yards in the range, but he was definitely more of a poised quarterback. If you spook him, you ain't really have to worry about him popping out and gassing you for 30 yards. So just understanding that it's still within the system of 6 or 7 yards when we pass rushing.
Nice. You were a big part of holding the offense to just 26 yards. In the press conference after the game on Saturday, you said that it was not a complete performance and that you guys can do better. What does better look like, and what have you seen that leads you to believe that y'all can be better?
Just the execution of everything that was going on. I truly and genuinely believe, in my most humble way of saying, that we could be better. There was one play around the 30 or 40-yard line. We ran a play where the guard had pulled, and I was supposed to wrap. Me personally, I was supposed to wrap. I overran the ball a little bit, and they gassed us for about 7 to 8 yards, and I'll just take that on me. Just overall, we can execute better, just the little things every day. Coach Samar really just harps on the fact of being your best that day, and then the next day, you got to be your best. If you keep having your best day every day, you're going to always be your best.
What have you learned from Coach Wilkerson about how to be your best?
Coach Wilkerson, man, great guy. Every day we go into meetings, it's bigger than football. First thing I say about Coach Wilk. Every day we go to a meeting, we always get into a Bible verse, just connecting with the Lord, and he doesn't force it on us, but he makes us. He takes what the verse says, puts it into football, puts it into life. I say that just genuinely makes me better. Just just mentally, just intrinsically thinking of what can I do to be better. That correlates with this quote. It'll be communicate better. So I instead of getting onto somebody, I gotta build them up instead of breaking them down. Understand what I mean?
So I mentioned it in the intro, but what does it mean to you to be the Defensive Player of the Week for arguably the fifth best conference in the entire country in what was your first college game with 20 plus snaps?
Man, it's crazy to really think about because honestly, I didn't realize that I received the AAC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week. I thought I was just gonna get Player of the Week for the game. I had a little bit of a feeling that I could get Player of the Game for our team. But once my name got announced for AAC Defensive Player of the Week, it was a complete shock. It didn't fully I couldn't fully trying to figure out the word. I couldn't fully just bring it all into myself on what of accomplishment it was.
Well, we're all very excited for you, especially
you.
Considering that a few of the staff members that I've talked to have dubbed you as the nicest member of the entire team. And this is a big team with a lot of good characters.
Definitely that too.
Can you tell listeners who don't know and haven't watched our Mekhi Hughes, Dante Fleming interviews, which they should definitely check out, but if they haven't, can you tell them what player of the game means for the team and what you get with that?
So with the player of the game, it kind of just impacts us. Just highlighting a guy that excelled in that game. We all excelled in the game because it's a team sport. You can't win without 11 guys on both sides at the end of the day. So the player game just kind of highlights that certain player or person that really just gave it their all or just stat-wise really just produced in the way that was needed.
You actually had a top 10 Pro Football Focus defensive grade in the entire country. You tied a Navy safety for the best defensive grade in the American. Does that surprise you?
First time hearing that one. Definitely. That was my first time hearing you. Thank you for telling me that. That is definitely a shocker.
No problem. You registered 4 tackles and 20 snaps, which is pretty almost impossible for a defensive lineman, especially considering a lot of those were passing downs as well. You were wearing a Cotton Bowl backpack today. What did you take away from that season?
Man, that's a lot right there. Lost a lot of my leaders that I really just looked up to. Dorian Williams, he plays for the Buffalo Bills. Tajay Spears, I know everybody knows Tajay. Titans, Sincere, Hainsworth, just a lot of just respect and leadership. I didn't play that year, which I completely take it as on the chin is my fault. I didn't fully lock in intrinsically to what I can do as a player my freshman year and doing the little things right. But going to the Cotton Bowl just really just set me up in the mindset of, like, I'm here. I'm at a great program where we're doing things that have never been done at this program really before other than the 1930s. So just being there just really opened my mind up to understanding that we're on the map. We're dogs. We're fighters.
Awesome. You're also only 18 years old then, right? So don't be too hard on yourself.
Definitely.
True freshman figuring things out. Everyone does their freshman year of college. I think that's an important part of college is learning adversity. It's funny you mentioned those 3 players. Tajay Spears just actually had a Wildcat touchdown, something that he did.
Sweet feet is what we call them, sweet feet. Oh, my God, that cut was crazy. Man, I can go through at least – I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Perfect.
But I can go through at least 12 or 15 of those guys who just really just told me, like, man, you have the talent. You just got to put it all together. And those guys still take me to this day. Once I got my AAC Defensive Player of the Week, those guys would text me, calling, saying, hey, I told you, don't get complacent. Keep going. And it's just all respect to those guys. Shout out Sincere. Shout out Dorian. Shout out Nick. Shout out the whole 2022-23 roster. Love all y'all, man. Thank y'all for everything y'all did.
That's awesome. I was saying Tajay Spears had a Wildcat touchdown. That was something we saw, I believe it was against UCF in the Cotton Bowl season. near the end of the year. Dorian Williams, actually, as a stats guy here, I have to mention it, is on pace to break the Buffalo Bills' all-time single-season tackles record. And then Sincere Haynesworth was in the building today checking out practice. How impressive was Dorian Williams up close when you were just a freshman while we're on the topic?
It's funny that you bring up Dorian specifically because me and Dorian actually had a theater class together, and Dorian would call me to make sure that I'm studying over my lines and studying over everything to make sure that I don't mess up in class. So he was a leader on and off the field. He really just taught me to make sure that I don't get complacent and make sure that I'm keeping my head on right.
Awesome. I've actually also talked multiple times about how Dorian was a leader in my class as well. He took Jewish leadership with me, and I appreciated learning from him. What do you remember about the UAB game last year from the sidelines?
Man, sideline.
Sometimes you can see more from there than actually playing on the field.
It was not pretty for us. Stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. We did not stop the run at all. So once you don't stop the run, it's usually what the scoreboard reflected, which was 20-7 on their way around halftime. But once we came out, I feel like we really just genuinely started executing, understanding what we had to do better, which was stop the run. Pretty sure if you go back and look at that game, second half they rushed for about 50 or 60 yards. We had at least 2 or 3 sacks, and a great performance by Devin Deal. He was really blowing up with the TFLs. I want to say he had 4 that game and a couple pressures. So just understanding that we had to stop the run was one of our biggest downfall.
And let's not give anything away, but how do you adjust your training when you go against a more accurate passer this week in Jacob Zeno?
When you go against a more accurate passer, start from where I've started from always, where we started as a team, stopping the run. Third down comes after you stop the run. I've looked at what his drop is. He drops about 7 to 8 yards, which is pretty average, which is completely different from playing against OU, USF, who kind of get a lot of quick game, a lot of play action, throw down the field, or a lot of RPOs. So just understanding where he's dropping that and understanding what protections we're getting up front from the line. That's how you have a great and successful third down against a great passer.
It's looked like you guys are doing that against the scout team this week, and I look forward to seeing you stop the run again this week. Last week, just 26 yards on 25 attempts. Pretty incredible. Before we head out, G, I just want to ask about Sam Howard. From one nice guy to another, what do you see in from Sam in the locker room?
I don't call Sam. I call him Sergeant Sam, man. Man, I could be here all day talking about Sam. Sam, when he first came in, was just a leader first day. Automatically came in, setting the tone with his voice and his actions. Everything he says, he does. There's no faking it with Sam. Sam kind of reminds me of Coach Summerall. Coach Summerall has just been such a genuine, upfront person. But, man, Sam just, from the little things, that's his biggest thing, the little things. We just got a message from Sam yesterday, sending us a Bible verse about the little things, making sure that we execute. How can we go on the field and do our best if our lockers aren't clean? How can we go on the field and do our best if we're not picking up trash off the bus? Even in the meeting rooms, Coach Summerall, one time we had a couple phones go off in the meeting room. Coach Summerall said, "Turn them off or leave them downstairs." Next day, Sam comes around with a phone basket, helmet, shoulder pads already loaded up, ready to go to work. Walking around, phone. You might not always agree with Sam. You might not always look at it. He's just doing too much. He's doing what's best for the team, and I genuinely can say that as a leader, and I love and respect that guy.
I thought that phone basket was part of the coaches.
No, that's Sam. It's definitely Sam, man.
So, Gerrod Henderson, this has been awesome. Where can fans find your other podcast appearances, get some of your NIL stuff?
So NIL, I'm just now making my way onto the field. So I haven't really just set up my own merch, but I have a nice a great people with community campus connection. You can buy my jersey, a couple of shirts from there, and also I have a podcast. I did a podcast the first week with Jimmy O with Fear the Wave Collective, and also being Job Taker of the Week. And I'm pretty sure I got another one coming up this Thursday with Mr. Jimmy O again. So that's where you can find me. If anything, social media, Twitter, all same, my name or yeah.
What's your handle? What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is really simple. Henderson Gerrod. This is my last name and then my first name.
Awesome. And I'm iPop Stats. You can find Fear the Wave on FTW Collective. Job Taker of the Week, which is essentially Scout Team Player of the Week in Week 1. And here he is. He's Conference Player of the Week, Team Player of the Week, not just the Scout Team. So catch the Jimmy O Show on our Fear the Wave channels, YouTube, and wherever you get this podcast or in general where you get your podcasts. Isaac Popper, Gerrod Henderson, thanks for watching. Roll Wave.
Roll Wave.
And Nola Built.